Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now let me just start up with the disclaimers. Anything that I tell you on the video or I just show you is just for knowledge purposes. Don't take any of these as your investment advices. Now in this video I am going to tell you Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki, which of them is a better stock according to me and what would I prefer investing in. I am going to give you all a point-wise information or say a point-wise analysis where you can come to a conclusion which would be better for you exactly. So in this video, I am going to tell you briefly how the EV story in our country is going to kind of take shape and what is going to happen with Tata Motors briefly in this video. In the next video, I'll be telling about Maruti Suzuki. I'll give a fundamental analysis about Tata Motors in this video, and I will tell you what might really happen with the stock price. So in short, I'm going to tell you in a point-wise basis that what is going to happen with all the EV cars or say in the EV sector and with Tata Motors, because there has been a lot of talk. So what everyone is telling is, you know what, I'm going to invest all my money in EV sectors and I'm going to make hell lot of money in the next year. See, I just want to tell you point-wise that nothing like that is going to happen, say in the coming, say 1 or 2 years. That is, I feel, is very, very highly impossible. Yes, we are slightly moving towards the EV market step by step, and we are going through an automobile evolution, but it's going to take a lot of time is what I really feel. Well, so let me just start off with the fundamental analysis point of the story for Tata Motors. So the stock is around 393 rupees, that is around 400 rupees, and it's trading around 400 rupees right now, and it has reached a high of around 537 rupees. That was when the times were really good and Tata Motors had literally peaked at that point of time. After that, it has just kept going down. So on a whole, what do you think of Tata Motors? If you see the chart over here, after say 2020, the stock price had literally come down to say almost 70 rupees odd. After that fall, it almost went up to say 800 odd rupees. Now, why did this really happen? See, there was at that point of time, people were not really buying any vehicles or say four-wheelers because it was a very tough time for people in India due to coronavirus. And except for that, after 2020, what really happened was, it was told that the whole EV sector is going to go through a revolution. That means a lot of EV vehicles are going to come into the market, and Tata Motors were really aggressive with it. They were promoting a lot of revolution in the EV sector. So what people really thought was, see, Tata Motors is the next pick and this is the next company which is going to evolve our market in the automotive sector. So that is what people went with Tata Motors, and say what, it almost went from 70 rupees to 500 odd rupees just in 2 years. That story part of it had already factored in the stock price of Tata Motors already when it came to 500 rupees. So do you see an upside of the stock? I really don't think so, because see, from 70 rupees to 500 rupees, way too much of going up. Yes, their sales were good and everything was good. I am not saying that it was somewhat hyped out or something like that. And what I am telling you is, the EV sector evolving, the story factored already into the stock price. So that is the reason it already came into 500. If you think if you had invested around 500 rupees, you would have seen losses. So do you still think that Tata Motors can go up after this? I really don't think so, is what I am telling. So if you see their P&L statement, what you can really say is their sales from the year of 2020 has been pretty stagnant. Do you think the sales might go up in the next year? Yes, I really think the sales might go up, but I am really scared if the stock price might move, because see, there have been hardly sales. You can see over here 2020, 2021 and 2022. There have been hardly no such sales that have happened which should take the stock price say from 70 rupees to 500 odd rupees. So the sales might really go up, but I really don't see a stock price movement which is going up in Tata Motors, is what I say. Their expenses has been sensible. Overall, Tata Motors is a very sound company according to me when it comes to the automotive sector. They have really diverse sales all over the world. It's not like Maruti Suzuki, they don't sell their vehicles only in India, they sell all over the world. So that is a really good diversification that they have in their company vehicles. What you can see over here is their profit margins. Their operating profit has been kind of coming down in the year of 2020. It really went up in the 2021 year, and that's really because the EV sector sales had been increased. Now what really happens with EV sector is, see, EV sector vehicles or say electric cars, the profit margin in electric cars is basically a little bit high because the company has spent a lot more on the research and development part of it. What they are doing is, since there are very less units that have been sold in India, they are charging a lot more for the car. Now, there is a study from McKinsey that has been taken place which tells that each electric car costs around $12,000 more than a normal petrol car or a diesel car. Now, that is a really good study which really tells you that electric cars are basically in cost, and the company gets to have a lot more profit margins in the EV sector. Now, Sudarshan, you have been telling me that the sales have somewhat been stagnant from the year of 2020. Then also the stock price has gone really up. So now you are telling me that even the sales might go high after all these 3 years. Now, why is that? Now, what I really feel is businesses like automotive sector are really cyclical. What does it really mean? There's a cycle that goes on with businesses like these. And why is it? See, if you are an owner of a car, for how many years on an average do you own it? It's very much simple. You would own it for say 5 years approximately. After that, people who belong to the normal category of average Indians, or say who are say somewhat okay to do with their financial status, they are going to upgrade to a newer car. So what really happens is that brings in lot of sales to the company. Now, if you see here, it has already been 3 years that the sales have been very decent and it has been somewhat stagnant. Now, what I am really predicting is the sales over here might really go up in the next 2 coming years, because there has been, now people are somewhat clear with what they have to buy. Do they have to buy petrol cars or do they have to buy electric cars? People have taken their decisions according to their comfort and according to their financial situations and according to what they really think the electric car space or EV space might shape out to be in our country. Now, just as I told, buying cars or say automotive sector is somewhat cyclical, there is another point why it is cyclical. When you are producing a car, there are a lot of steps that goes into it. You have to say set up a manufacturing plant, and there are a lot of steps which takes a lot of time. So again, manufacturing a car or a set of cars is not a game of say 1 or 2 days. It's going to take a lot of days, and this is a cycle. So before, if you had booked a car, there would be a waiting period of around say at least 6 odd months, or say at least go on say 1 year. But the period of waiting has now, it has somewhat come down. So what really tells you is previously, so this is the proof that see, automotive sector is cyclical. So it is going to take a lot of time. They are going to have to do, like they have to set up the manufacturing plant. They have to go through all the emission norms and etc, and they have to do research and development according to it, and then is what they will have to say start the production of the cars. After that, they will have to do the sales, and after that they will have to do the after sales, and there is a lot of work, or say this cycle is very big, and that is why it will take around say 5 years on an average to play out. 5 year span is the right span to judge how a company is doing, is what I am literally saying. You can't literally say that see, they are not done well in this year, so the price might go down, or they are not doing well, because there are going to be cycles, or there are going to be processes which are going to take time in the automotive sector, and you literally can't judge a company just by looking at it or its performance just for a year. So if you go to the balance sheet, what you are going to first see is their reserves was around 61,000 crores in the year 2020. After that, it has been going down. It has come somewhat around 43,000 crores. Now, why is that is happening like that? And their borrowings has also somewhat increased. Their liabilities also has somewhat increased. Why is it happening like that? The answer here is really simple. What I really think is to have more production, or say to set up new factories, or say to make new research and a lot of improvement in their cars, they'll have to take a lot of research and development programs, and they'll have to do a lot of researches, and they'll have to spend a lot of money on say increasing their production capacity. They'll have to have a lot of money, and that is the reason their reserves are really decreasing, is really what I think, and that is where their money is really going into, is what I think. But what really you can see here is after the year 2019, their fixed assets have been increasing somewhat. In the year 2020, it went up to 1,27,000 crores. So that is what is really somewhat positive. What it really means is they are putting their money into assets. That is their fixed assets. That is like somewhat like say their factories, their manufacturing plants is what it really means. So that is what is really encouraging, and that's somewhat a good sign. So what it really means is they are borrowing money and they are not wasting it. They are using it on processes like building new factories, and they are increasing their capacity of producing new cars, or they are improving their asset levels. What I really think is that is a really good sign. and they are increasing their fixed assets. There is no issue with it if they are spending money on things like those. And it's really reasonable for a company which is going through, or a say industry which is going through a evolution. That is really simple, and this really happens, and this really should happen. See, now what I can really say is the promoter here in the shareholding pattern, they have been increasing their holdings from the year 2019 from 38% to it has come till 46% in the year of 2022. That is a really positive sign. But what is really scaring me here is the FIIs have been reducing their stake from 18%, it has come down till 13%. Now that is a really worrying sign. But at the end of the day, the promoters are really confident, and that is what is, I think, really matters. And the FII's money are really going to come back when they get to know, or they understand that somewhat the EV space in India has somewhat settled down, and this is a time where it will take a bit of time. Indian EV sector has been on the nascent stage as of now, and it's really improving. So I can really say that we can really give it some time, and this is why foreign investors have somewhat reduced their stake. Now, if you ask me, would you invest in Tata Motors? My answer here would be a simple no. Because see, as I told you, the Tata Motors went from say 70 odd rupees to 500 odd rupees just in 2 years, just because of the EV space story that was playing out in the market. Everyone knows that what's happening with the EV space. Everyone has settled down and it has already reached its highs. Do you really think the stock price from here will go up? The answer seems to be a really a no. Now, if I had to choose between Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki, what would I choose? I would go with Maruti Suzuki. And in the next video, I'll tell you why I'm going to choose Maruti Suzuki. Okay, everyone, see you. Bye bye.